Hey guys, my name is Urosh. Welcome back. Today we're taking a look at how to make music like All Day I Dream Again. And we're doing the second video of Mass Digital, right? The first one I did it was like a year ago or something like that. It was summer, right? I think it was summer, I don't know. Anyways, I hope you liked what I did. We're gonna take a look section by section how it all came together, right? Which are the sounds he used. And yeah, let's just go straight into it. Like, subscribe, all that stuff. Anyways. Let's start with the first 9 bars. Okay, so we have the kick, right? Obviously, pretty obvious, right? We have the kick, we have the drum bass on it, just to beef it up a bit. Then we have the sub kick, which is in a lot of these organic house tracks. There isn't any organic house track without this stuff, right? So it's the same sample as the kick sample, using the EQ a bit, cutting off the higher frequencies, right? And yeah, I think that's it, using some sidechain, and it happens at the end of every bar, right? On the end of every second bar, sorry. So again, right? Okay, then we have the claps, right? Then we have the per CAD, which something similar happens in the original track. We're using the PML Organica moving perk, right? Then we also have the hats, right? And also the shakers. We also have the pad, the droning pad, playing G sharp major chord, right? Without the C in it, right? Okay. Okay. And also in the beginning, and also in a lot of transitions, we are using this ride try. I think it's from PML Premium 1, right? So also using delay on it, so without the delay, right? Using the delay. And he uses like this in a lot of tracks. I think in the first track I did, it was like similar stuff, right? So this notes we can take from him, right? Okay, then at the end of the first 9 bars, we also have the fill, right? Which I made in the Pinga Congas, right? So it's super simple, right? This rhythm, ta-tum-tum. Right? Okay, let's go to the next 9 bars. Basically the same thing. We're not adding a single instrument, but we're adding the reverse vocal here at the end, and also again the fill. The reverse vocal I think came from Opus. I reversed it, resampled it, added some delay and some erosion, and I think that's it. So let's listen to that. Also note pointing out is that we're using the cutoff on the pad just to open it up a bit, because we're actually, we're going somewhere, right? We're also getting the pads 2, which plays the identical set of notes, the same chord as the previous pad, but it just gives us a bit more air to it. So if I mute it right now, right, just adds a bit more airiness to the whole stuff, right? Okay, so I think we can go forward because it's actually nothing happening here. We can go to the piano moving pad shakers, right? I made all these markers so I know what the hell is happening. We're also filtering the kick and the per kick right in this section because it's almost like a transition or a break part. We're also having like this transition sound here and some fill effects. So let's listen to that. This fill effects is like these sprinkles, right? I used Omnisphere for it. I don't know what the actual probably some tremolo or some stuff like that, just to have like this fairy tale kind of vibe to it. What's up, Omnisphere? Are you dying? I think we're gonna wait here until the end of the year, and then it's too late. Nah, just kidding. Fairy plucked. Yeah, I told you, fairy plucked tremolo. Anyways, we have this vibe, right? Something similar is in the original. It's not exactly the same, right? But yeah, let's listen to this section. So also I added some new shakers in. What's happening in this part? Obviously this is like a break transition part, right? So we're having this pad, which is kind of weird pad, right? Sounds like this, together with the first one. So we're having that stuff. We're also getting the keys in, right? Or the pianos, right? I use the keys. One layer is Ableton, one layer is Omnisphere, the same as in the first example. And yeah, what we're using here is we're using a G sharp major chord, right? And then we're going up to a C sharp minor, right? If I would transpose this note, we have a C sharp minor, right? Ta-dum, ta-dum, right? And these are actually the same kind of chords that he used in the Mass Digital Lonely Souls, so it does have a similar vibe to it. If you think about it, this chord is basically the minor 4 chord of this chord, right? If you think about it, and I think in the we're in the key of G sharp, double harmonic, but we're using a scale. Actually, the scale, I'll talk about this later, but yeah, these are the chords: G sharp major and C sharp minor, right? Da, 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 right? Okay, that's the vibe. So yeah, that's all we get new. We also have like this rise reverse, which I think is from BML as well. I don't know, maybe I took it. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, that's basically it. Let's listen to the next part and see what the hell is happening. Same ride as before. We also have the crash. We also have like a different kind of fill. It's the same fill, but it's just basically simplified, right? So this one is, I think I need to solo it, right? This one is like this, and this one was a bit different, right? It's the same as the same fill, right? Just nudging the notes a bit. Then we also get like the doubled, the weird pad vibe, right? This time I used the vocal kind of vibe. Right? So pretty cool. We also get the bassline in, which I used wavetable for. So we have one saw waveform and one sine wave. We're using some amp here, also saturation, and obviously the GM Ducker, which is a sidechain plugin. And the notes are actually pretty simple. We're playing a G sharp all the time. We're also going one octave higher. And what I did here to get like that, I've used the transpose here on this part here. So this is pretty common in like the organic house world, right? All together, let's hear that. section. Let's move forward. Then we get I think we get the strings part, like it says in the section, right? We're also filtering bits to get like. And obviously the strings are playing the same chords, right? So we're playing G sharp, major, and C sharp minor, right? And those chords are just basically repeating throughout, right? So we're getting the strings. I've used the session strings. Hope it's gonna still work because of this error. Yeah, it does. Super nice. And yeah, I think that's basically everything that's new here in this section. We also have like some new hats, using some vocoder on it. New in this section, what is important I think to see is also like the structure of itself, right? So we started with just a pad sound, right? We developed that pad a bit. We got into a transition where we added the piano chords, or like the bell chords, right? Then we added the bass here at 49, so 1 minute and 30 in, right? We also added the strings later, but we moved away from the piano chords, right? From this stuff where the lead comes in, right? So I think this is quite important, right? We're going away from that. We're using the strings, which we introduced earlier, and we're adding something new. We're adding a lead, right? And this lead I made in Serum, right? Call it Mass Digital. Obviously it's not like entirely the same, but it has a bit similar vibe to it. I added saturation on it, and also like the pan man, right? Just to make it a bit more. It's not like I didn't want it to be fully in mono, right? If you, I don't know if you can hear it. Right, just to make it bounce a bit more. And yeah, I think that is mostly it. Like, what are the notes actually? What's like the pattern here, right? We have like this pattern, like da dum da 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 dum da 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 dum da 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 dum, right? And if you think about it, if you would put the scale in and you would use like harmonic major, right? It's not gonna work. You get notes that are not gonna work, right? If you go to harmonic minor, you get notes that are not gonna work as well. So what I found out is basically if you use like the harmonic major from C sharp, which is the second chord, right? It's gonna work. Like you can see all the notes are actually in. And I think also like melodic minor, I'm not really sure. Yeah, melodic minor I think works as well. So go figure that out. But it's interesting, like if you have two chords, what if I would do? If I would have two different chords, I would basically just solo over each chord. I would try to find the notes from each chord and then just play them and see what sounds good to me, right? So you don't really have to necessarily just have one scale, but you can have like, you know, you can do whatever you want as long as it sounds good, right? But yeah, I think the main thing is like this repeating pattern, which you can see all the time, right? It starts with da-dum, and then it repeats like da-da-da, right? The rhythm repeats 4 times. And yeah, also added some delay to it. In terms of other sounds, we're just using the same sounds as in the previous section. We're also using the strings, right? Which play the chords. And that's it. hope you liked this video. Let me know in the comments what you think. Yeah, this is a video after a long time. I think it was like 3 weeks. I'm doing something for PML, so that took a lot of my time. But yeah, let me know what you think, and talk to you soon, guys. Have a nice weekend, and yeah, talk soon.